My thoughts on Stadia. Good question, Josh. I'll keep it short and sweet for you. It's shit.
Welcome to 2-Bit Gaming, and I'm Josh. We are talking about Stadia and a bit of an update on the recent Stadia Connect, along with a couple of updates which they have announced in the news. So let's get to it. First of all, full disclaimer, I have pre-ordered Stadia. I was attracted by the whole concept of Stadia being able to just pick up a controller, you don't need a console, basically to have the ability to play games which I wouldn't otherwise be able to play, because I only have a Switch as a console and obviously my PC. And certain games such as Red Dead Redemption 2, not on PC yet, it gives me the ability to play these games with a lower cost of entry. Instead of shelling out a few £100s on a console, instead I'm just paying a subscription and then the price of the game. In my eyes, it kind of makes sense, so that's why I kind of pre-ordered it. So we're going to hopefully have a balanced view of Stadia here. But I'm going to go through my good and bad points on Stadia and the recent news from the Stadia Connect. And Will is going to put his 2 cents in as well, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to start off with the good points. So in my eyes, the first positive point of Stadia is it lowers the entry cost of gaming, especially with the base package of Stadia, which is free. You're given a platform to play games for free. Yes, you've got to pay for the games. Okay, not an issue. And yes, you do need a connection of minimum of 10 megabytes per second download speed. But I feel that's not too bad. You're getting a platform with the ability to play AAA games, older games for free. Also, recent news, Stadia could eventually be capable of having up to 1,000 player servers, which is just mind-boggling. Up to 1,000 players playing one game, that's just insane. Also, there's no need to wait for downloads or updates because everything is done on Stadia or Google servers automatically, so you don't have to wait around for updating the game. It does it automatically. You don't have to worry about a thing. Also, in a recent interview with John Justice, who is the VP of product at Google Stadia, they're trying to bring all the games you would expect to be on high-end consoles to Stadia. Pretty much every AAA game, unless it's exclusive to another platform or console, that's likely to be coming to Stadia. Also, the ability to play a game as soon as it's released, basically at midnight when it's released, you'll be able to play it straight away. We've also got thousands of developers working on games to bring to Stadia and hundreds of developers already at work, so you can expect a whole catalogue of different games coming to Stadia in the near future. They're also working with developers with regards to cross-play and cross-progression. They want every game on Stadia to have those. Whether that's possible or not, I think that's a tall order. Even if you have like 50% of games which are completely cross-play and cross-progression, so no matter what console you're on or what platform you're on, then you can just pick up where you left off. I think that's great. John Justice also mentioned about the controller design. They went through hundreds of prototypes. They even brought in a knife handle design expert because chefs have different grips for different ways of holding the knife to get to the finalized product. I'm pretty excited to kind of hold it. Obviously, top of the pile at the moment is the Xbox controller. They've got some great games coming. They've obviously recently announced that Cyberpunk is coming to Stadia, which is phenomenal. I was going to buy this game anyway on PC, but if I can play it on Stadia, I'm probably going to go down that route. Although they did say it's not going to be out on Stadia when the game is released, but shortly after. So I'm hoping it's not too far after the actual launch date. They've got other massive games such as Mortal Kombat 11, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Borderlands 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Doom Eternal, Watch Dogs Legions, and some other massive games which I'm personally looking forward to so much, because news broke that Rockstar have actually pulled their games from Nvidia's GeForce Now streaming service. So GTA 5, Bully, episodes of Liberty City, and GTA 4 have all been taken down from GeForce Now's streaming platform. It's already been announced that Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to Stadia. So it seems likely that all of these games, GTA 5, GTA 4, Bully, episodes of Liberty City, are all coming to Stadia. And they could be exclusive, which I don't know if I agree with. Big Store is doing a lot of exclusives at the moment, which is really frustrating because then you have to have multiple platforms. And this is what I think Stadia are trying to stay away from in a way, even though in this case they might not be. So I'm hoping that there's not going to be too many exclusives, and people like Epic are going to stop this, but at the moment I just think it's going to get worse. So before I go into the bad points, I want to hear from Will and his thoughts about Stadia, because he's got a completely different perspective on Stadia than I have. So it'll be great to hear from him, and I think you guys are going to be really interested in what he's going to say. So here he is.
My thoughts on Stadia. Good question, Josh. I'll keep it short and sweet for you. It's shit. Okay. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. And there is all this hype at the moment about Stadia. I mean, we're a matter of months away from it actually being released now. I know you've got your pre-order in, Josh, and I know you're excited about it, and that's great. But I don't know. I mean, I know we both are, but me, certainly from a generation where I feel I was on the cusp of something. We came into gaming at a time where things were changing and moving rapidly, not only in the gaming world, but technology as a whole. And, look where we are now from where we were 15, 20 years ago. It's crazy, what we can do. It would have blown our tiny minds out, at the tender age of sort of 10 and 11 of what we can do now on or with a video game or a video game platform. For me, I don't want Stadia to fail, don't get me wrong, and there is all this what if, is it just a try for Google trying to make it into the gaming industry, and actually at the end of the day they don't care about the people that are going to be buying it, they just have enough money to chuck at anything. If it goes wrong, oh well, we'll move on to the next thing. I don't want it to fail, don't get me wrong. I think competition is wonderful, and recently I read, I think it was Shigeru Miyamoto, who actually said that in regards to Stadia, he loves competition, he thrives on competition, and why wouldn't you? That's what keeps you going at the end of the day. That's what wakes you up in the middle of the night with great ideas for new systems and new games and new consoles. So don't get me wrong, I don't hate Stadia and I don't hate Google. I'd probably get shot if I said I hate Google, but it's not that, it's the concept of streaming. Everything being invisible. I can't fathom it, I can't handle it, and I can't get to grips with it. I find it hard enough recording and editing footage without having a mini fit. Like, it creeps me out in a way. It's an odd thing to describe, but for me, just that whole virtual digital thing, stuff just being like in the ether, floating about, I just cannot grasp it, and I doubt I ever will. Once again, it's not that I hate streaming, and I have streamed, and there are some games that I have downloaded and I don't have hard copies for them, but that is few and far between. I am a retro guy. I like my hard copies. I like blowing into cartridges. I like wiping my disc clean. Dear God, there's some innuendos here. You know what I mean. I am just that guy. I can't wait for you to get Stadia. I cannot wait for us to sit down, have a go, and see what it's like. And I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Don't get me wrong. But for me, just not my bag. Things are moving too quickly. It needs to slow down. Take a step back and just have a break. I don't know. It's just for me. It's too much too soon. You need to give me some baby steps. I think there's a lot of people of a certain generation who will agree. It's fine having digital, but I don't want all digital. There's a lot of people that will not be able to hack it and will not buy into this. I don't want to ramble on because you know me, Josh. I could ramble on for hours about this, so I'm gonna leave it there. Best of luck with Stadia, dude. I do wish you all the best, and I can't wait for us to both sit down and play it. It's gonna be awesome, as I said. But for me, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Right. Well, that was Will's perspective. Do you agree? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of the good points so far? What do you think about Will's comments about Stadia? Do you agree with Will? Do you agree with myself? Well, I do agree with a lot of things that Will has to say, and I'm from the same era. I'm exactly the same age as Will, and we grew up with physical copies of games, and I totally get that. I don't think you can beat having a physical copy, whether it's a disc, whether it's a cartridge. There's just something nostalgic about it and proper gamer about it. So I'm completely with you. But now I'm going to go into what I feel are the bad points about Stadia. So first of all, I think maybe the pool of gamers is possibly going to be too small. Main reason being is that you need a minimum of 10 megabytes per second download speed on your internet connection. And yes, a lot of people have that, but not the majority. And I think that then shrinks the customer base. So that's going to be interesting in how that plays out. But initially, I think it's going to be a bit more of a slow burn. For instance, there was a study back in 2017 and found that just 9 countries, which are South Korea, Norway, Hong Kong, Sweden, Switzerland, Finland, Singapore, Japan, and Denmark have average internet speeds above 20 megabytes per second. So yes, you need a minimum of 10. You're probably likely going to need to be more like 15 to 20 megabytes per second to run games smoothly, I reckon. I think 10 might be just a little bit on the edge. So that narrows down the customer base, which kind of brings me on to the next point, where the more wealthy people of this world who can then afford to spend hundreds of pounds or hundreds of dollars on consoles are obviously probably going to go for the console. Gives them instant access to games and they don't have to worry about internet speeds. They're buying the consoles and not necessarily going to be playing Stadia. But on the flip side, then you've got less wealthy people who can't maybe afford the consoles, who would be able to take advantage of Stadia because it's a lower cost to entry to play games. However, they're unlikely to have the internet speeds to actually use Stadia. So there's a bit of a catch-22 there, which also narrows down the customer base for Stadia. In a recent interview with Phil Spencer, the main guy at Xbox, obviously they're for online streaming of games because, you know, they're going to have Microsoft xCloud. But his thoughts are it's not going to become mainstream for years. It took Netflix 20 years to become mainstream. Okay, that's films, that's TV shows. I don't think it's going to take as long as that for games, but I still think it's going to be gradual growth. And Stadia could end up being more expensive than actually buying a console. Not necessarily with Stadia Base, but with Stadia Pro subscription, which is $8.99 a month or $9.99 in the US, plus your controller, which is around £60 or $70, plus the cost of the game. Depending on how long you subscribe for, it could end up actually costing more than buying an Xbox or a PlayStation. Another major flaw in Stadia at the moment is not connected to Steam or the Epic Store or Origin, so you don't have the opportunity to access the back catalogue of games. You can't transfer any of your current games which you've purchased to Stadia. And then if Stadia did fail for whatever reason and Google pulled the plug, then all your games are gone. However, if it was connected to Steam, for instance, and Stadia did fail, then you have the backup that the game you purchased is already on Steam. Also, streaming service GeForce Now has over 400 games which are compatible with its streaming service. Stadia currently only has 40, and GeForce Now has a huge back catalogue because it can connect to services such as Steam. So you've got this huge back catalogue of games. Also, if Stadia isn't connected to services such as Steam, if your internet connection does go down, then you can't play any games. They're not offline, they're all cloud-based, so you can't play. Although I've stated all these bad points, I think there are ways which Stadia can mitigate some of these, such as if they can integrate or connect to platforms like Steam and Epic Store and Origin. It would mitigate the issue of not having a back catalogue, and to increase the game count on the platform, and having that safety net of if your internet does go down, then you can still play your games offline on Steam. With regards to Stadia only having 40 games, I mean, Stadia hasn't even been launched yet. So because GeForce Now, yes, it has over 400 compatible games on the platform. However, it was launched in September 2015. That's 4 freaking years which they've had the opportunity to build their catalogue of games on their platform. And I'm willing to go out on a limb here. I think that within 4 years of Stadia launching, I reckon they're going to have more than 400 compatible games on their platform. I just think Google has the resources and the capital to pump into this, get more developers on board, and to streamline the actual service, and hopefully connect to these other services such as Steam and Epic, for instance. And personally, I still think it's going to be the cheapest way to get into gaming, especially with the base package, which is free to play, but you still get 1080p quality at 60 frames per second. That's more than adequate for most gamers out there. Then all you need to do is pay for the games, which you would do anyway on any other console. You don't even need to buy their controller, for Christ's sake. I think the base package of Stadia is going to be where it's at for a lot of gamers. And yes, there is a huge disclaimer that you need a minimum of 10 megabytes per second to play games effectively and smoothly. I just think it gives that opportunity to get into gaming for little cost. But these are just our thoughts on Stadia, and with a little bit of sprinkling of news. I really hope you guys have enjoyed. Please let us know your thoughts on Stadia, whether you're excited, whether you're not. Just let us know in the comment section below. We love to hear from you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching the video. We really do hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you have done, then please consider subscribing to the channel and be sure to click that like button.
Please do leave us some comments. We love hearing back from you. So good or bad, let us know.
And as always, guys and girls, we will see you on the next video. Bye-bye. So we're gonna have also in a recent interview, also in an